Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of the Ref Bump. My name is Codd Sinclair, along with Jeffrey Long. If you are in the mid-Atlantic states or the northeastern states, there's a lot of snow outside. So hope you're being safe. Hope you're staying healthy. If you've watched any quick count videos from this week, you know that I am dealing with sinus and pressure nonsense. So again, apologies for this, but tonight is the Rumble. We got to make sure this is getting out because it might actually be better than what they're putting out tonight. So before we get into it, Jeff, what were your expectations coming into this, knowing that it was going to be the first women's Rumble on the card?
The first go around, yeah. I was actually excited. I was just to think, not like super excited, but like, okay, women's Rumble. Like, I was interested to see how it's a Rumble, so I know how it's going to go. But just to see, who they put where, how they're going to work their spots, are the women, there's not a ton of women's Rumbles. So, does everybody know how to work this whole thing? So, yeah, I was just very, very interested to see how this was going to go.
Yeah. Tonight's only going to be the fourth in WWE history as far as being on the actual Royal Rumble card, because there's been probably a multitude of battle royals, and God bless the WrestleMania 25 one, where you had Santina win. That's a battle royal, but other than that, this is the first Royal Rumble to be held in Philadelphia since 2015. I covered Rumble 2015 on Quick Count this week. That was where Roman Reigns won, but The Rock came out, helped him out. I said in that review that Vince doesn't care. He's very out of touch. But there are a lot of big names in both of these Rumbles. So I'm hoping that something inside of him listened. But we will get to that as we cross that bridge. But we'll go over the pre-show matches first. We'll get into too much detail on that. Six-man tag to open up the kickoff show. You had Kalisto, Gran Metalik, and Lince Dorado defeat TJP, Gentleman Jack Gallagher, and Drew Gulak. It's pretty entertaining. Typical six-man tag.
Yeah.
Crazy, this next one. You have the Revival, also known as FTR now in AEW, defeating Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Also kind of on AEW, also on Impact, on the pre-show. So if the writing wasn't on the wall then, I don't know when it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird, and I'll probably harp on this throughout the show. It's weird how 2018 isn't that far ago, but then it feels like that far. Obviously it wasn't that far ago. But when you watch the actual program, you're like, man, this was for like I guess what I'm saying, like dog years or cat years, like red wrestling years. You're like, man, this was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. And then the last kickoff show match we had Bobby Roode defending and retaining his United States Championship against Mojo Rawley. Crazy where 4 years has taken us. or 3 years. Yeah.
It might as well be 4. Like I said, it's wrestling years.
Yeah. But kicking off the show is the handicap match for the WWE Championship. It is champion AJ Styles defending against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. What did you think about this one, Jeff?
I enjoyed this one. I forgot. Well, in hindsight, the wrestling purist in me is like, well, of course one guy is going to beat up 2 guys. But with that being said, I forgot how good Sami and Owens were, when they were together yucking it up and doing their shtick. It was really, really good. The match was laid out well. It wasn't like they were just pummeling him, AJ, into the ground, or it went smoothly, and the way the finish was and everything, I think it was worked really well. You never thought in the match, like you went in thinking like me, like, well, how is one guy going to beat two? And then you watch the whole match, you're like, okay, well, that makes sense. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, same here. It was a strong opener. I was kind of shocked that they kicked off with the WWE Championship match. But now this is the first year you have two rumbles on the card, so it's going to be built a little differently. Yeah, I thought this was great from start to finish. It was clean. There was a touch of comedy in there, and it keeps the storyline going. Um, this will essentially roll us all the way to WrestleMania. But I give this a solid 2.5 count. I really enjoyed this match. They're like I said, they're still giving you something to be invested in for
Yes.
this story, and it's been going for a while, but that's what keeps you hooked. You're putting something great in the ring. You're keeping the crowd involved. You're keeping your fans involved. Um, but yeah, and then even better was keeping the conspiracy going. They complained to Shane McMahon after the match, and he just doesn't care.
The refs working them, holding them down, of course.
You can say there's a little bit of referee's discretion there. Next match, we have the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, current SmackDown Tag Team Champions, taking on World's Greatest Tag Team 2.0 or American Alpha 2.0. It's the team of Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. This is a 2 out of 3 falls match. I liked the tag team of Gable and Benjamin. They've been teasing the Benjamin return on dirt sheets for years now. Well, up to this point. And even now in 2020, 2021, he can still go in the ring.
Specimen.
Yeah, and especially since they split up Gable and Jordan, I thought this is a great option to pair Gable with to keep him in the tag division.
I agree. You went from, pretty much got the same thing by them breaking up Jordan, and throwing in I can't. His name's what's his name? Codd. It's
what?
His part Benjamin. Jesus.
Benjamin.
Yeah, by swapping Benjamin and Jordan, but great tag team. And watching this match, it's just sad that Shorty G is what it is now. Or again, I don't know if that's still a thing, but
he is actually back to Chad Gable now. Him and Drew Gulak are a pairing now.
Gable, he's so good, and I know, believe it or not, the WWE actually doesn't really matter whether you can wrestle like that or not, but he's really, really good. And this was a good match. The Usos are the Usos, so that they're going to do their thing. I enjoyed this match a lot, all the way around. Classic tag match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I gave it a 2 count. It was a very good tag team match. I thought that the ending was a little flat. It was a little quick. But it also, how many times nowadays though do you see a 2 out of 3 falls match and immediately like, oh, we're going to a third fall right as the match starts?
Yeah.
Because you never see nowadays in a 2 out of 3 falls match somebody just win in the first two falls.
No, and that's why I enjoyed it probably a little more than maybe I should have, because it just bucks what you generally get in wrestling, and also for them to get a quick one on a roll up like that, boom, boom. It wasn't flat. Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, I guess I can almost argue if you're going to do it flat, then go all the way flat. I guess I don't know. Mm-hmm. I just enjoyed how it was bam. It was quick. For me, you got the double surprises, and man, like they're really going to give him 2 falls right away, and then 2, like, well, he hit him with a roll up right away. So I think both of those things kind of went well with me.
Yeah. So, shocker, not a shocker. Next match is the men's Royal Rumble match. I think once we saw this, we knew that the women's was gonna headline the show. Um, Obviously, it was going to. I think in a lot of our minds, um, but this is gonna get hot and heavy here. So, number one, we get Rusev. Number two, we get Finn Balor. Number three, Rhino. Number four is Baron Corbin. Corbin hits deep six, which that move should go to somebody a little more competent, because it should be a finisher in a lot of guys' repertoire.
Yeah.
But Baron Corbin using it as like a transition, I guess it's kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's in the world. I mean, nowadays there is no such thing as a finisher. If it's not the one wing angel, but I'll save that for another day. But anyway, but yeah, I agree. That's a really, really good finisher, or momentum changer, if you will.
Yeah. But he hits deep six on right. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry to cut you off, but if anybody was wondering, it definitely was Rusev Day. Still, at the Rumble.
Oh my gosh, so over. But yep. I guess they didn't make enough shirts, right?
I guess not.
But anyway, Corbin hits deep six, throws Rhino out. Then Finn Balor tosses Baron Corbin. Then he goes into Kylo Ren mode and just kind of just fits on everyone. So that happens. Number 5 is Heath Slater. This is his I Got Kids at its height, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But Corbin on his way out takes him out on the way. So everyone's out, and then number 6 you get Elias taking his time, gives Slater a nice little boot on the way to the ring.
Disrespectful.
What is respectful though? Number 7 is the NXT champion Andrade Cien Almas.
It is. I almost forgot, Codd.
Oh gosh, I'm
serious.
This and I popped so hard for this. It was absolutely incredible to watch. And now 3 to 4 years later, you don't have 2/3 of your name, and you're not even on TV. So
nope.
There's that. So yeah, he attacks Heath Slater on the way to the ring. This will be a thing over the next 2 or 3 entrants, I think.
Yep.
And then number 8, we get Bray Wyatt. Wyatt attacks Slater as well.
Everybody just putting the boots to my guy.
Hey, and the crowd continuously letting us know what day today is.
That's what I'm saying.
Number 9 is Big E. Helps Slater to his feet and feeds him pancakes. Great. Awesome.
I'm so glad that's over.
Yeah, it's about time for him to get a singles run, I think. A bigger singles run than what he's in, but I kind of like what they're doing with Sami Zayn and him right now. The other Friday night on SmackDown when he handcuffed himself to the barricade, Sami Zayn, was great. Number 10, it's supposed to be the perfect 10. That is Ty Dillinger. But instead, he is taken out backstage by KO and Sami Zayn. Sami now takes his spot at number 10. Takes out Heath Slater on the way in. Number 11 is Sheamus. Sheamus, that big Irish soul of his, I guess, gets Heath into the ring. And then he gets into the ring and then gets tossed by Heath Slater. How to do Sheamus dirty like that?
Yeah, I mean, also, man, I guess he's doing double duty. You know what I mean.
That's
So,
true.
yeah, I get it. But I forgot about the bar. We'll get into that later. But I forgot about the bar as well. I mean, I didn't forget, but again, you go back and you watch these older, not older, because this was not older, but these past pay-per-views, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot how over that was, or how over it wasn't, or how good it was, or how good it wasn't.
Yeah. But he eliminates Sheamus. Wyatt eliminates Heath. Number 12 is Xavier Woods. Cut through my notes. Number 13 is Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
Number 14 is Shinsuke Nakamura to a huge pop. Him and Sami Zayn go at it right away, which just reminded me of their 5-star match that they had at NXT Dallas.
Yeah, again, I didn't forget. I really didn't forget this one. But going back and putting the eyes on it again, he's so over, and he should be. And the place is going nuts for Shinsuke Nakamura, and it's still weird. It's still new and fresh and nice at that point because he's fresh off of New Japan and he's in a WWE ring. He's in the Royal Rumble, for crying out loud, and like you said, 3.5 years later, and whatever he is now, I guess it looks like they're starting to take him kind of more seriously again, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think at this point, about 3 years prior to this show, was when he made his NXT debut. So he's been on the main roster now, I think, at this point for at least 8 months or so.
Yeah.
But he does toss Sami Zayn eventually. Number 15 is Cesaro, the other half of the bar. Number 16 is Kofi Kingston. Before we hit number 17, Cesaro eliminates Apollo Crews. And then we get Jinder Mahal at number 17.
If I could cut in here again, things I hadn't heard in a long time. The modern day Maharaja.
Oh,
I hadn't heard that in a long. God, I was watching it and it popped me. God, it popped me so bad.
Listen, I'm going to get into that Backlash review here in a couple weeks, where he does win the title, and I forgot how it even got to that point. But
it just sucks because they beat me over the head with it, and everybody else on like how he's a big deal, he's a big deal, he's a big deal, and I was like, no, he's just Jinder Mahal.
Yeah,
and then he got over with me, and I was like, okay, well, like again, he's not the greatest worker, but he wrestles in his lane. He looks like $1 million. He looks like a champion. He looks like a big foreign bad guy, and he was fine. And then as soon as he did that, it was like, nope. Well, guess what? Now he's not again, or he's off of TV, or I don't know. It just sucks. So it sucks for the talent too.
When I soured on him was when he went over Shinsuke. That was kind of my souring to him and his title run, because I don't mind that you're using your resources or outside interference to win, because that's your gimmick. But Shinsuke obviously red hot at the time, obviously coming up on this now. Hindsight's 2020, but I think we all know what we would have done in that scenario.
Yeah.
So he does toss Xavier Woods and then tosses Big E. So back-to-back eliminations for Jinder Mahal. Number 18 is Seth Rollins. Comes in like a house of fire, tosses out Cesaro. Jinder Mahal goes to toss Kofi Kingston. One foot lands on Xavier Woods. The other foot, Big E has a plate of pancakes that he gets the other foot on. He hops on one foot and gets back in the ring.
I'm sure there'll be something tonight, Codd, that's going to make us throw up in our mouths.
Yeah.
Also to go back a couple seconds, it's just again the climate that we're in with Seth Rollins now. I mean, just huge pop for Seth Rollins when he ran out there.
Yeah, a lot of rumors though that he's making his return tonight, though. I guess we'll see. But Kofi's back in the ring. Trouble in Paradise eliminates Jinder Mahal. Then Big E come in, throw pancakes all over him. And then we get Andrade comes from behind and eliminates Kofi Kingston. Good. It's karma. Number 19 is Woken Matt Hardy, not Broken Matt Hardy.
No. WWE's got to get their money. Got to get their money off of it.
Yeah. So we had this back and forth between him and Bray Wyatt. They eliminate Rusev, and then they eliminate each other. So, great. Awesome. Nice to see the WWE's original.
Yeah, of course. Continuity.
Yeah. Number 20 is John Cena. We can see him because he eliminates Elias. And then number 21, we better stand back because there's a hurricane coming through.
Damn right there is.
Listen, if he comes in and tries to chokeslam Cena, and I swear to God, if he would have sold for the hurricane, I would have lost my damn mind.
Again, 2018, a couple years ago, but not too long ago. And even then, I didn't forget. But Cena has heat. There's when he comes out, the crowd. I mean, there's just so much heat, and it should be. Don't get me wrong, it should be. Man, it's just wild. At the time, I didn't enjoy him, and I hated him, and I still do. But going back to see it that way, I was like, man, I didn't know it was necessarily that bad. I thought, I was just letting my hate blind my own. You know what I mean? I just thought, my own druthers were getting in front of my, my whatever. But yeah, just the vitriol for John Cena. I enjoyed every minute of it. Watching it again.
Love it. You gotta love it. But he tries to chokeslam Cena, but obviously Cena goes the route of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H from, I believe it was the 2002 Rumble. They just chucked the hurricane out. Number 22 is Aiden English. Shockingly, Andrade is still in this match from coming in at number 7. I was shocked.
Yeah. Under the radar.
Yeah. 23 is Adam Cole, baby. Selling his match from his Extreme Rules match from last night against Aleister Black, which is another excellent match. To wonder where the Aleister Black guy is now, huh?
Who?
Exactly. Ballard tosses Aiden English. And then we get number 24 is Randy Orton. Great. And then we get Andrade gets caught with an RKO and is tossed. Good.
If I could just have a quick second. I caught a snippet of Raw or whatever it was, like on YouTube, and I saw Randy Orton in like a burn mask, and I was like, "What is going on?" I don't watch the WWE's current. Again, I off and on here, but again, like it just happened to run through my feed or whatever it was, and I was like, "What in the world is going on here?" But that's all I wanted to say.
Really quick.
Yeah,
I'll catch you up with that really quick. Alexa Bliss threw a fireball on his face.
Oh man, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair, right? Andrade lasted just under 30 minutes, which is a great showing. Number 25 is Titus O'Neil. 26 is The Miz, laying in the It Kicks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Number 27, another surprise entrant. It is Rey Mysterio, which is crazy because we just saw him at All In just the previous summer. So to see him back is great. He ditched those baggy pants that he wore on SmackDown the last time he was there.
Yeah,
Great.
and good for him because he kind of like a bunch of older wrestlers. They get out of shape and just get to a point. Sometimes of no return. Um, but he got back in really good shape, like he was back in the day. Right before he came there, even for All Out, he was heavy hardcore and Lucha Underground. And then, like you said, pre AEW and back to the E.
Yeah. But he does eliminate Adam Cole, which is crap. Number 28, everybody's fan favorite, Roman Reigns. God, he's a house of fire, and everyone boos and hates him for it. Remember, the last time he came into a Rumble in this building, everybody almost canceled their network. Seriously, it was that bad.
If you when you're watching the Rumble and they zoom in, if you look at the back, like first, well, not first, but the wherever the rows that are on, that you can see, I mean, just middle fingers, just boobers. I mean, the people are going ape. They're just going ape. It's insane.
Yeah. For those who are watching this and haven't seen my quick count, right after Roman Reigns won the 2015 Royal Rumble, the website crashed where you can go to cancel your network subscription, and there were so many phone calls to the network customer service line that they ended up having to do an automated line just to say, we have too many calls coming in now. You have to call tomorrow. But yeah, House of Fire to come in. That sounded like a great idea.
Oh yeah. Times two.
Yeah. Reigns eliminates Titus O'Neil. Let's see. Reigns then eliminates Seth Rollins. And kind of a dick move, honestly. Crowd hates him for it, which is great. Number 29 is Goldust. Number 30. At this point, it could be anybody we've seen. NXT guys, surprise returns, a legend or two.
Yep.
This man just gave up the United States Championship weeks ago. It is Dolph Ziggler at number 30. What were your thoughts on this, Jeff?
Well, I actually forgot. I remember that Dolph Ziggler did this. I just forgot which Rumble it was. So when it happened, I was like, oh, that's right. This is the Rumble that didn't make any sense when it was like any other time. 30, like you said, is for literally anything else. I would have took literally anybody else besides Dolph Ziggler. Ric Flair. I mean, I would have took the Hurricane at 30 over Dolph Ziggler just because of all that, the way they handled that, and it just, I don't know. And after that, between that and Roman Reigns and Cena and the compacting of it, like you could just feel the whole, like burn, the buzzer sets and it's Dolph Ziggler and everybody's like, what? You know what I mean? Yeah, everybody's just kind of like, the whole building is kind of like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I remember we were sitting in the Lily's basement. We were like, that's BS. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. It's not worth it. Cena eliminates Goldust next. Balor then eliminates Ziggler, so he was only in the match for 2 minutes. They couldn't even get him to Final Four.
Nope.
Which is totally fine. It's totally fine.
Well,
I'm not complaining. So we get kind of a 3-on-3 stare down. I guess with the older guys and the newer guys. On one side of the ring, you have Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, Roman Reigns. On the other side, you have Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton and John Cena.
I actually enjoyed that.
I loved it.
I enjoyed that aspect, that wrinkle that they put in there.
Yeah. Roman Reigns tosses Randy Orton. Balor tosses Ray, so we're down to 4. It's a big standoff again. You get huge Nakamura chants. Listen, at this point, we're sitting all together. We're sitting in the basement at the Lilies. We're saying anybody but Reigns. I don't even care if it's Cena at this point.
I mean, this is prime Roman Reigns hate. So yeah, it's as much as I hate to say it, like I would have took Cena over Reigns as well, just like you. Anybody but Roman Reigns.
Yeah. A lot of brawling though. A lot of Superman punches. We get a Kinshasa countered Finn Balor with a double stomp, but Cena tosses out Finn Balor. Finn Balor was in there for 57 minutes and 38 seconds.
And it's like Cena's like working heel here a little bit, right?
Very much so, yeah, or at least working
crowd non-favorite.
Yeah,
you know. I mean, not heel, but you know, his like, oh well, if you don't like me, like, you know, I guess.
Yeah, but some back and forth here. You get Cena working with Reigns for a little bit. Then you get Cena working on Reigns. Cena goes eliminating Nakamura, but then Shinsuke eliminates John Cena. So final 2, Shinsuke Nakamura, Roman Reigns, and we've talked about it on PWO WrestleCast, how Vince McMahon feels about foreigners.
Yeah, so poor Matt Lilly. Well, not poor him, because, you know, I save that for another day as well. But with who the winner is later on in the show, he was just all jazzed up after this. Do you remember this, Codd, on how he had this big soliloquy on how these 2 things were going to get booked and this, that, and the other? And I said, poor Matthew, I don't know what you're thinking, because you are getting worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vince doesn't like foreigners, so.
Yeah. Nakamura goes for a Kinshasa. Roman catches him with a spear, goes to toss Nakamura. Nakamura counters, hits a running kick, and then eliminates Roman Reigns for the win. That was the loudest pop that building could have ever produced, honestly.
Yeah, the roof came off that place.
This is a 3 count for me. This is one of my favorite modern day Rumbles to watch. It had everything. There wasn't much that soured me. Really, the only spot that I was really against was Dolph coming out at number 30. I mean, everything else was great. You had NXT guys like I said a little earlier. You had, you know, legends, returning guys. You had everybody.
Yeah,
and
it was
have a fan favorite win as opposed to 3 years prior when you just went into business for yourself. It was just excellent.
I agree. It had more things you enjoyed than you didn't, which is rare in a modern Rumble, if that makes sense. And if I had told you it's a Royal Rumble, and at the end it's John Cena, Roman Reigns, and said person, well, you just knew that said wrestler would be taking the highway, you know? So it was really good to see Nakamura get over. I mean, granted, I didn't do anything with him, but hey, listen, we'll take him when we can get him. At the time, that was great.
Some of my favorite Rumbles, just going through quick count this month. I really love 92. I really love 2001. I love 2004. 2008's a good one, where you get a little comedy at the beginning. You get some bigger names lasting a while through the front to like the middle to the back half of the Rumble. Your final 4 guys that are main event guys, you're going to get great work out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, the guy that is supposed to win wins. 92 it was Flair. 2001 it was Austin. '04 it was somebody. I can't think of who 2004 was. 2008 John Cena coming back.
Yeah.
Which
I think sadly that was probably the right call. Like I hate to say it, but that was probably the right call.
John Cena in 2008 I think was because he was literally as hot as you could be before he got injured. And then as far as surprise returns go, probably one of the best.
Yeah. I agree.
Right after the match, Nakamura says he wants AJ Styles at WrestleMania. All of the marks are getting excited. They're ready to roll. They're ready for Mania to be here tomorrow. But us purists, we knew what was going to happen.
Yes, we knew better.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's not the end of the card, though. We still got 2 matches and then another Women's Rumble at the end. So let's burn through these. We get Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan, the current Raw Tag Team Champions, defending against The Bar, Cesaro and Sheamus.
I forgot that they were tag champs. Again, I didn't forget, but they came out. I was like, oh, that's right. Like for that whole little weird, I don't know, experiment, I guess, loosely. It was weird.
Yeah. So the work was fine. It told a good story. I'm giving it a 1.5 count, and here's why. You can't have a match like this go on after a Royal Rumble match. The crowd was dead. They were out of breath. Fans were burnt out, and they honestly just didn't care.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, any match after a Rumble period's going to just suffer. So I think you're right, but man, I think they could have gave it. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I just think any match after that is just going to be. It's just going to struggle no matter what.
Yeah, I think the way you have to build these build these Royal Rumble matches, one's got to start, one's got to end, because whoever's after the first Rumble match, the crowd is taken out of it. They're already sitting for an hour. They're ready to take a piss break. They're hoping the women's title match is next.
We're gonna find. We'll find out tonight too. See if it's Rumble to Rumble or if it's match in between.
Yeah. But I really like the match story here. It not only added to a potential Jason Jordan heel turn. He blames Rollins for the loss, obviously. But it also covered what would end up being the injury that would shorten his career, unfortunately. He's a backstage producer now, which is great, but in the years prior, they've been hinting at he's trying to get back in the ring.
Hopefully he can.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen miraculous stories. Daniel Bryan, Edge, just to name a couple off the top of my head. But
yeah.
Next up, we have the WWE Universal Championship match. Oh boy. We have Brock Lesnar defending against Braun Strowman. And in 2018, Kane is getting a title match. Jeff, your thoughts?
My motto. One of these things is not like the other. So
sorry.
I remember watching the match and the way it unfolds and how strong Braun Strowman looked was like wild. I remember we were watching it together and we were like, what? You know what I mean? Like everybody was like holding their breath, like, what is going on here? Just because you don't see Brock Lesnar get treated like that or sell like that. Well, he actually is a great seller, but get dominated to some extent like that. And so kind of once that started going, then everybody, which you already knew from the get go, but everybody's like, okay, well, Kane's eating this pin. Obviously, they had to stick somebody in there to take this pin. But the work between those two, to me, was new and fresh, and it's before they kind of abused Braun Strowman. He still was bright and shiny. He was a new girl, new toy, new car, and it was good. Like that aspect between him and Lesnar was really, really good. And it was good stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy because Kane returned to help Braun Strowman defeat Roman Reigns. And then Kurt Angle, the Raw general manager at this point, decided that Lesnar would defend the title against both. I'm really glad you brought up the fact that Brock's a great seller. It just came out the other day that before Brock Lesnar's match against AJ Styles at Survivor Series, he went to Kurt Angle and asked, how he works in the ring. And Kurt Angle told him, if you sell for him, you're going to get a 5-star match.
Yeah, and listen, a lot of people, you can not like Brock all you want, and that's fine. But if you go back to his first run and his battles with Guerrero and his battles with Kurt Angle, Undertaker, the guy is a really good talent and a really good wrestler. He just decided later in his years, hey, listen, I'll just cash in because I am a draw and I am a prize fighter to some extent, and I am an actual badass. And I'm not going to knock him for that. So people, even us sometimes, we can be mad at Brock and say and do this and do that, but the guy really kind of has his own niche. There isn't another Brock Lesnar. He is his own. And I just think to years to come, there'll never be a Brock Lesnar or even someone in that role where he's a legit badass, and that's it. So he can come when he wants, come as he wants, and does what he wants. And his wrestling acumen is good. No, he doesn't wrestle like that anymore, but his selling is really, really good. And I just think I just want to give Brock some props because in a world of super kicks and cutting somebody to death or garbage wrestling with tables and all that stuff, for a bigger guy and a guy like that, like selling, I think at the end of the day, selling is one of the most important things, and he sells his butt off.
So they do make Braun Strowman look like a moron here. He power slams Brock but doesn't cover him. Hits another. Kane takes him out with some chair shots. Brock F5s Kane, and Brock retains. Post-match, you get Braun yelling at Brock Lesnar. He didn't beat him. Giving it a 1 count. It was good for what it was. But you could kind of tell the crowd was still kind of out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
This thing went 11 minutes. It felt like damn 20.
Yeah. See, if you'd have, I obviously watched it, but if you'd have told me that, if you'd have said, hey, did it go 11 minutes or go 20? I'd be like, oh, it went 20. Again, that's how I felt to me too, but wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So here we go. We have got history here. We have got the first ever women's Royal Rumble match. Maria Menounos doing the ring announcing. You get the legendary Trailblazer Stephanie McMahon on commentary.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then you have the Raw Women's Champion, the SmackDown Women's Champion, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte are out to watch as well. Number 1, you get Sasha Banks. Number 2, you get Becky Lynch. I don't think there's 2 women that you could put here that are more suited for this spot. Let's see. Number 3, you get Sarah Logan, who's actually in this match for a while, so surprisingly.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Mandy Rose. Number 5 is Lita. the first of the returning women. She gets a little bit of a pop. Lita does eliminate Mandy Rose. Number 6 from NXT is Kairi Sane, which is excellent. Number 7 is Tamina. Another one that's just there.
Listen, I don't want to be mean because this crosses over to this show. So even on Ref Bump, hey, listen, you know our motto: get your money. But boy, she's been getting a nice check to do. I don't know what really, but yeah.
Hold on, I gotta look this up because there's no way. Hold on. When do you think she made her main roster debut?
Tamina?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, man, because she's been there for a while, a long time. Because remember, she was AJ Lee's heavy for a little bit, and even before that, man, I'd say, oh my God, 2011,
2010, close
yeah.
enough, 2010.
Yeah. If I'm just using my own brain as a database, yeah, it's got to be somewhere around there.
She's 43. Crazy enough.
Is
but
she really?
More than yeah, she is.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And she looks nothing like her father. Where are we at here? Jesus.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have guessed she was 43.
Yeah, I know, right? Lita does eliminate Tamina. Becky Lynch then tosses Lita. So now she is the biggest heel in this match, I guess. Shoot. Number 8, we get Dana Brooke. You get Brooke, who eliminates Kairi Sane, to nobody's excitement. Number 9 is WWE Hall of Famer Tori Wilson.
Oh, yay.
Why is she in the Hall of Fame?
Who isn't in the Hall of Fame at this point? But
you're right. Our former president is. Tori does get an elimination here. She eliminates Dana Brooke.
That's right.
Number 10, Sonya Deville. She does eliminate Tori Wilson. Number 11 is Liv Morgan. Number 12, returning Molly Holly, which was excellent to watch.
Yeah. She was really good in ring.
Yeah, she really is. She didn't. Good.
She didn't look, we like to say here, wrestle in your lane. But I mean, she was really good. Like I didn't think. I mean, I went in thinking please be careful with these, the older women, or just,
Mm-hmm.
some of these women that have been taking bumps like that. But no, I mean, she got in there and didn't skip a beat and looked like she'd been wrestling this whole time. Maybe she has been, I don't know, but she'd been wrestling this whole time. She looked good. She looked great.
Yeah. No ring rust there. We do get a Molly go round, which I popped for. I'm not gonna lie. Number 13 is Lana. Number 14 is Michelle McCool. Obviously, she's married to The Undertaker. She's going to be in this. Why wouldn't she?
Yeah.
She eliminates Sonya Deville, eliminates Liv Morgan, eliminates Molly Holly, eliminates Lana.
I was going to say, who didn't she eliminate at this point?
Yeah. For real.
She went on a run, boy.
Yeah. That was 1, 2.
Oh, Taker made a phone call. Hey, listen.
Yep, sure did.
I need you to do me a solid.
Yeah. And she just kept rolling.
Yeah.
Number 15, we get Ruby Riott. Number 16, Vicky Guerrero.
Excuse me?
Vicky Guerrero. She goes, she does her heel shtick, monologues for a little bit, and then they all toss her out. Very gently, I might add.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 17 is Carmella. Vicky goes to attack her, and Carmella lays her out with the briefcase. Sorry, her women's Money in the Bank briefcase.
Get it right, God.
That was won by a man at first. Number 19 is Kelly Kelly. Yeah. Thoughts?
God. Oh, goodbye. I'm not a Kelly. You have two first names, but sure.
Yeah. I apologize. I skipped over number 18, Natalya. Number 18, Natty, is in the match. Number 19, Kelly Kelly. And the reason I mistakenly skipped her, she does get the elimination on Michelle McCool. Michelle McCool finishes with 5 eliminations. She was in a match for about 8.5 minutes.
Whew.
Yeah. Number 20, we get Naomi. Yeah. Number 20, we get Naomi. I could care less.
She gets her Kofi Kingston spot too. I'm sure she'll have one tonight as well.
Yeah. She hasn't been on TV for a while either. Ruby Riott, though, does eliminate Becky Lynch right here. She was in the match for just about 31 minutes. Number 21, another Hall of Famer. We had Miss Jackie. That is Jacqueline Moore. Yeah, love it. Loved her work in TNA. It's very underrated. Number 22, we get the Destroyer and Concussion Giver, Nia Jax. She tosses Miss Jackie, then tosses Kelly Kelly, then gets rid of Ruby Riott, then Naomi. Thoughts?
Okay. Again, I'm not defending Nia Jax, but it's like they booked her as this monster, and then when it was time to pull the trigger on it, they didn't. And then they did it like later, and then my motto, Codd, like, but for some people, like with the heavyweight belt, I mean, they should have won it and lost it by the time they're at said point. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When they get so far, or they're in this storyline and they're going for their first ever heavyweight champion, it's like, well, they probably should have already won it. If you're booking this correctly, they would have already won it and lost it already by now. And they may have more or less credit depending on how it was done. But yeah, so here again, I'm not down with just putting everybody in concussion protocol, but if you're going to do it, then do it and get it over with. But it is the same thing here. She looks strong, that's for sure.
Yeah. Number 23, though, from NXT, we get Ember Moon, taped up from her match last night as well. So she goes right after Nia Jax. So I'm going to backtrack here because I said that Naomi was eliminated. She only got tossed. I messed up in my notes. She actually got caught.
And then,
yeah. That's the one where she's like, she's, like Repo Man sitting on, the ring steps like this, Yeah,
and she jumps on the thing and runs all the way around. And
jumps on the barricade, gets a rolly chair, uses her hands to walk to the steps. Thank God she gets caught by Nia Jax and thrown out because I can't stand Naomi. I can't.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of hers either.
Number 24, Beth Phoenix. You get your Nia Jax face off. She goes to pick her up, but there's no hope there. So they do knock Nia Jax out of the ring with some help from Natalya. Good.
Beth Phoenix to me, I've just always loved her work and enjoy her work. Even back in the day in a world where it was still kind of, and it was diva-ish, she was always real and legit. And it just sucks, because you're born where you're born and you're placed where you're placed. Because I mean, she would be so good for women's wrestling right now. You know,
Yeah.
she could be a big bad and be great because she's just so believable.
If you believe Matt Lilly's prediction, um, she's in a perfect world, she would win the women's rumble tonight, and Edge would win the men's.
I mean, you wouldn't hear me complain about it.
Here's the problem: Edge has been declared the number 2 entrant tonight.
Oh, I did not know this.
So they determined yesterday. Natalya defeated Tamina to earn the number 30 spot in tonight's Rumble. And then number 1 is the Masked Wonder himself, Randy Orton, and number 2 is Edge. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
See, WWE does just enough to make you want to now I have to see how this is. You know what I mean? At heart, we're still marks. Now I'm like, well, now I have to see how this works. Edges too? Oh, well.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. So even though they send Nia Jax through the ropes here, Natalya turns on her, eliminates Beth Phoenix. 25 is Asuka. Carmella runs. It doesn't last long. Ember Moon hits the Eclipse. Asuka eliminates Ember Moon. 26 is your girl, Mickie James.
Sure is.
Yeah. Here's where we get a lot of questions. Number 27 is Nikki Bella. Oh boy, there's a lot of botching here. Number 28 is Brie Bella. A lot of botches here again.
Well, this is where I was like, oh, here we go. So to make a long story short, really the Women's Royal Rumble, with everything that they were going, for them being their first go around, I didn't think it was bad. And then the Bella come in, and then that's what started. That's when I kind of was like, well, let the botchy, hokey, just here we go. Let it begin.
Yeah. 29 is Bailey. Number 30 is Trish Stratus. Huge pop for Trish.
Yeah.
You get a Trish and Mickey face off. It's been cut out of the network cut of it, but when that match at WrestleMania, she looks at the crowd.
It was great. That was great.
Gosh, man, that was. You know what? And that was great stalkerish work by Mickey. That whole storyline was ahead of its time, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It was great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But Trish does eliminate Mickie James. Sorry, Jeff.
That's all right.
Everyone is finally going for the Codd Sinclair strategy. Get the biggest person out of the match immediately strategy, which is everybody jump on them as soon as they get in the ring.
Why would they do that?
They all attack Nia Jax. So obviously they follow Codd Sinclair's strategy. They all get Nia Jax out of the match, finally. We get Sasha tosses Bailey. Trish eliminates Natalya. Sasha Banks eliminates Trish Stratus. I think there was something there that they should have ran with.
Well, again, I forgot about that. But yeah, I agree 100%. Because even when you watch Rumbles, you don't. some of them you remember, but you don't remember who tossed two, like, every single one. So I watched that and I was like, man, like, I just feel like they missed a chance here to get something good out of it. And I guess the buck stops with the queen. So I guess they were going to go that route a little bit later, but man, I just feel like, I mean, in hindsight, I guess because if she tangles with Sasha, she would have to go over if you're really booking this her versus Charlotte, right? So, again, and then at that point, do you let a not part timer, but do you legend just come back and beat one of your top talent? So, I get it, but
Yeah. So your final four here, we have Sasha Banks, we have Asuka, we have Nikki Bella, and Brie Bella. Oh boy. Thoughts?
Yeah, can we just get to the ending of the show quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. The Bellas and Sasha Banks work over Asuka. The Bellas, though, backstab Sasha Banks, eliminate her. Sasha Banks was the number one entrant and was almost in there for 55 minutes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Then now you have a 2-on-1. She does. We get Sasha eliminates Brie. And then here's the awkward spot. They're both on the apron. And then Asuka, they're both kind of sitting on the apron. Or no, they're both standing on the apron. Asuka kind of just like kicks Nikki's leg out from under her. It's like if you're playing Mortal Kombat and you do the low kick. It looked like it looked like that. Nikki is eliminated. Your winner is Asuka. So overall,
but that kick, that was kind of botched too, though, Codd. It was
very delayed.
Yeah, just rough looking for me.
Yeah. I'm giving it a 1 count. I did not enjoy this at all. There were some good spots in it. There were some great returns. The issue I had with this was just the unpreparedness and the inexperience. You had women not knowing what to do. There's that infamous gif of Sasha Banks kicking Lita in the corner, and she's like looking over her shoulder, but she's still kicking. And there's clearly like this much space between Sasha kicking and where Lita actually is. Multiple women powder out in this match. They just roll on out. I loved that we got Asuka winning. Here's the kicker. You have both women in the ring, both women's champions in the ring. Asuka staring at them both. And then we get some Joan Jett music. How much did they pay for that? It's Ronda Rousey. Walking to the ring like somebody pissed in her cereal this morning.
Yeah.
Stares them all down. Points to the Mania sign. Hold on. I didn't get what the crowd, the crowd didn't give me the pop I wanted. Point at the sign again.
She's
awkwardly.
She's out there in the Kenny Omega face now. Like, hey, look at my face. This is what someone looks like who's trying to be tough looks like,
Yeah.
Ugh.
Awful debut in my opinion. Although the crowd ate it up. It was just really awkward. You know what else it did?
Yeah,
this is the first women's Rumble. It was the first women's Rumble. Asuka just won it. She made history, and just took that away from her.
Yeah. Of all the times to do this, you could have done it on Raw the next day. Have Asuka come out there and I guess talk about winning and this, her plans, and then she comes out, and there you go. But yeah, to have her to come, and I get it, but to have her come out the Rumble, you just completely, because no one's going to say, oh, Asuka won. They're just going to say Ronda Rousey came out. So
Yeah, 100%. So,
Kai, let me ask you this: does she show up tonight?
According to Dave Meltzer, no.
Okay.
There were 3 people, I can't remember the other 2, that said they were not going to be at the Rumble. I don't think
Tessa
so.
showing up tonight.
I firmly believe it is, honestly. I think it's a perfect opportunity if they did. My prediction on the PWO prediction show was Nia Jax with the clean sweep. I don't want it, but I have solid reasoning, but I'll make you go watch that video on the YouTube.
There we go.
But everyone, thank you so much for tuning in again. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've seen this show, please comment below. What was your favorite match? What was your least favorite match? Did you, the people that won the Rumbles, did you think that they were going to win? Let us just know your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't seen it, I'll put where to find it in the description box. While you're there, check out our Ko-fi link. Go to my Discord where you can get daily, weekly show updates. This is the last I'm going to ask Jeff because I'm going to start putting it in the description box. Where can they find you on social media?
I'm a simple man. I just have a little bit of the Twitter. It is at Jeff M Hall 1.
Go find him, guys. On our next episode of the Ref Bump, we are going back in time again to the year 2000. We will be taking a look at WCW Super Brawl 2000.
What a time to be alive.
Exactly. With Jeffrey Long, my name is Codd Sinclair. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.